Getting their share of new ideas right here on the FM Money Talk Radio Network. 95.3, 96.9, 103.9, WWNN.
Hi, I'm Dr. J.
And I'm Alan Knight.
I'm a board-certified licensed psychologist.
And I'm not.
Join us for a call-in show on love,
life,
and relationships.
Every Saturday morning at 11.
And Sunday night at 11. It's informative.
All County Healthcare, Inc. is locally owned and operated, serving the Tri-County area, Palm Beach, Dade, and Broward counties for the last 25 years. The practice of medicine is changing dramatically. All County Healthcare, Inc. still does it the old-fashioned way, where our nurses and healthcare professionals come into your home to service your medical needs, providing you the fastest and best care possible. For more information, call 954-717-7027. And remember, Medicare Home Care is covered by Part A of Medicare with no out-of-pocket cost to you. It's your decision, and only your decision, on what healthcare agency you use. Call today. All County Home Health Care, Inc. at 954-717-7027. License 200999096.
The opinions expressed on the following sponsored program are strictly those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.
AMP2TV presents You and Your Doctor, teaching you to live a longer and healthier life. Proudly sponsored by All County Healthcare, where people are the heart of our business. All County Healthcare is a Medicare certified agency where one call will service all your home care health needs. For more information, call 954-717-7027 or visit our website, allcountyhealthcare.com. Now, let's get informed to living a longer and healthier life. Here is your host for today's show.
Welcome, South Florida, and all our listeners. We have a great show for you tonight. You're probably wondering why I'm sitting here. Well, David right now is on vacation, and Monday nights is a very difficult night. We have a great guest tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We have Dr. Jay Seidel, and I can tell you personally, Jay is a fantastic podiatrist. Great education. I'll let Jay tell you about a little bit of his education. Jay, where were you educated?
I grew up in Baltimore and did my undergrad at Towson State University. And then for medical school, podiatry school, I went to Temple University in Philadelphia. Following 4 years of medical school, I did my residency or hospital training at Hershey Medical Center in near Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
And you also have a specialty in surgery, right?
Correct. So I'm surgically trained. We do anything and everything below the knee, whether it's in the office for diabetic foot care or treating wounds or doing surgery for someone who has a fracture or a torn tendon, to ingrown toenails, to elderly care, or even young kids.
As a matter of fact, I happen to be a patient of Jay's because I had a problem with my fifth toenails. I had ingrown. And I went to Jay once, and he solved the problem right away. And he even helped me with another foot problem I had. I mean, he treats neuropathy too, don't you, Jay?
I definitely do. We have quite a few different treatment options, and it allows the patient to make an educated decision about being involved in their care.
Jay, where can they find you? Where are you located?
My office is located on Hillsborough and Military in Century Plaza, right next to Century Village in Deerfield.
Now, that's the one. Now, you're in the back section, correct, Jay?
There's
like
a CVS on the corner. On the southwest corner, there's a CVS, and we're in the back section of the shopping center, right next to a realtor.
And you take walk-ins?
Of course, and we're happy to accommodate same-day emergencies as well.
And your phone number to reach you at, Jay?
954-426-4544. It's been a long Monday.
Let's repeat that again.
954-426-4544.
Listeners, let me tell you something about Jay. He's the most personable young man you ever want to meet. And I happened to meet him a while back, many months ago on a show, and I said, Jay, I have a problem. He took me right away, and he solved my problem immediately. So let me tell you, it's worth going to see Jay if you have any kind of feet problem, ankle problems, anything that you might need that you say, I'm not walking properly, my toenails are hurting me because you got an ingrown toenail, and it happens to all of us, and you don't want to cut them yourself and don't want to go for a manicure, Jay will do it. And I think that's covered by insurance too, isn't it, Jay?
99% of the time, it's covered by insurance. Yes.
Right. So you take all these, you accept all insurances, correct, Jay?
Almost everything: Medicare, Medicaid, United Healthcare, Cigna, Blue Cross, pretty much everything we take.
Jay, tell me a little about podiatry. Podiatry is the study of the feet and the ankle, correct?
That is
up to the
correct.
ankle. So
up till the knee. So anything on the lower leg. So we treat people with ingrown toenails. We treat people that need orthotics or diabetic shoes. We treat lower leg wounds. So you'll have some patients that if they bump their leg or if they develop an ulcer from diabetes, we're happy to take care of that. Just a couple patients from this week so far. We had a young kid with an ingrown toenail. We had an elderly man with a diabetic wound on his leg. We had another gentleman who was scheduled for surgery to fix his bunion. So really anything below the knee, we're qualified and happy to help you out with.
And you know, sometimes people don't realize how important the feet are. Well,
it's the foundation.
You're right. As you get older, as I'm getting older myself, I sometimes have a lot of tingling in my feet, a little neuropathy. I get up in the morning, you know, you get a little wobbly. And as Jay said, the feet are your foundation. Without proper feet, I mean, your whole life is a little bit about a mess, because, you know, you just can't really go through the day if you don't have proper feet. And I can tell you, Jay, my dad happened to be he was the first individual who did orthopedic shoe repair. Now, I see a tremendous amount of people with a lot of bad feet where they had to build up the shoes, lower the shoes. As you can tell, there's a lot of people today that go to an orthopedic specialist in shoe repair to get their feet straight. Am I correct?
Absolutely.
Now, you'll also give a prescription for that, if they have to have something done to the soles of the shoes so they can walk better. The heel's got to be lifted up a little bit. A lot of
yes,
people
and we also do diabetic shoes in the office. So if you come to the office and you have diabetes, Medicare and most other insurances will actually pay for one free pair of shoes and custom inserts. So every year you can repair shoes, and we have a whole catalog. They're not your grandma's shoes anymore. They're nice shoes. They're sneakers and sandals and dress shoes, and Medicare and again, most other insurance plans cover this. So you can come in and we get you fitted, we get you measured, and we mold your foot so that you get a pair of shoes that are custom molded for you.
And they can even play golf with it.
Absolutely.
I mean, when you play golf, you know, you need good balance on your feet. So a lot of times people are wearing the wrong shoes and they don't have good balance. They can't hit that golf ball. So people are still in the 80s and 70s want to play golf, but they're not doing well because their feet aren't being balanced when they get up to the tee. So these
that's
shoes
right. So we can improve your golf game.
Well, that's fantastic. You know how many people in South Florida play golf? You know, in the 60s and 70s and 80s, right? And they don't realize how important their feet are. I just started realizing the other day when I was playing how important the feet are when you can't stand over the ball, especially if you're in an incline, you know, or uphill or downhill. So the feet are very important for any kind of athletic event. So
that's absolutely true.
So Jay, let me ask another couple of things. You got quite an education, right? I don't see too many podiatrists with your education, and we're happy to have you here in South Florida. And one of the specialties, I see a lot of people with diabetic wounds on their feet. Now, sometimes that could become real serious where that foot might have to be amputated, or toes have to be amputated. I had a few friends of mine that they let it go so long that their foot really had to get amputated because of diabetes, their toes. You see a lot of that, Jay?
Unfortunately, we do. The sad part is that it's usually very preventable. So a lot of people that result in an amputation, that's a last resort. We're in the business of having our patients keep their feet and keep their toes. So if you see your podiatrist they recommend once a year. If you have neuropathy, which means you don't feel your feet very well, or you have tingling or burning sensations in your feet, you should see your podiatrist twice a year, so every 6 months. And I would say very often we can prevent the wounds and we can prevent the amputations. It's all about prevention. The American Diabetes Association has calculated that it costs millions and millions of dollars, diabetic amputations. And it's easily preventable by seeing your podiatrist at least once a year, because we can recognize if you have an irritation spot or if you have a pre-ulcerative lesion, so a spot on your foot that looks like it may develop an ulcer or a wound in the future. We can help you prevent that and thereby save your time, save your effort, save your money, and keep you out of the hospital. Because when you have diabetes and you have an ulcer and you're in the hospital, more often than not, it's something else that'll cause you to be sicker. You're around all these sick people in the hospital, especially now with this pandemic. You don't want to be in the hospital. You don't want to be dealing with that. So seeing your podiatrist is super important as part of a preventative care for your feet.
Jay, people talk about neuropathy. What is neuropathy?
So neuropathy is when your nerves in your feet and legs are damaged. And that can be caused by a couple different factors. The most common is diabetes. So when your blood sugar fluctuates and goes up and down, your nerves in your feet and your eyes are very, very sensitive to this. And it can lead to problems with your vision and also problems with feeling in your feet. That's why it's important to see your podiatrist and your optometrist or ophthalmologist once a year. The neuropathy, the symptoms in your feet can differ. Some people describe it as a numbness, some as a sock feels like it's bunched up. Some people tell me their feet feel like they're on fire. And there's a couple different treatments for that to help get rid of those symptoms and get you back to your daily life without any complications.
What are some of those treatments that they can do at home on themselves to help them that you can recommend?
So controlling your blood sugar is the number one treatment option. If your blood sugar one day is 100 and the next day it's 300 and then it's 200, all that fluctuation really irritates the nerves. So if your blood sugar can stay at around 100 to 120 on a daily basis, that is the best thing you can do to help prevent diabetic neuropathy. Once the nerves are damaged, though, it's very difficult to have them be repaired. Those nerves are often permanently damaged. And at that point, it comes down to different types of medications that can help relieve those symptoms.
And what age group does neuropathy happen? Does it happen to young people, older people?
I've seen it with every age group. It really, really is related to your diabetes. So you could have someone who's 25 and very much doesn't control his diabetes. They could have very early onset of that neuropathy. Whereas you could have someone who's 95 and they take very good care of their health, they eat properly, they exercise, and their diabetes is well controlled and they can have no symptoms whatsoever. So it really is related to how well you take care of yourself and how well you enroll your doctor's assistants in taking care of yourself.
Now, obesity would help to that neuropathy. Obesity would help. If a person's obese, they would have could have foot problems, major foot problems. Am I correct?
That's right. With the obesity, their blood sugar is usually less well controlled. And then also, they also have foot problems. Like you could have a flat foot deformity, or you're more likely to wear through your shoes, and therefore they don't protect your feet as well when you're overweight. So that's definitely a very important part of staying healthy and keeping your feet healthy, is maintaining a healthy weight.
Now, Jay, a lot of times I went to a doctor's office, and they used to do ankle surgery. He was a podiatrist, and his office was loaded with people that needed a new ankle or replacement of ankle. Do you do any of that? Ankle surgery?
Absolutely. With the ankle surgery replacement, it does depend on a person's health because they may be off their ankle for a little bit. So like you mentioned, obesity. If someone's very heavy, it may not be a good candidate for an ankle replacement. So we have to be very selective, but it's a great opportunity to get rid of arthritis in the ankle and allow someone to have that mobility and that motion again. Now, even if they didn't qualify for an ankle replacement, there are also other procedures and other surgeries that we can do to help someone get back out onto the golf course or back into the bowling alley and have that mobility again.
Now, I see a lot of athletes, Jay, they got this thing called Achilles tendon. What is the Achilles tendon? How important is that? What's that problem with Achilles tendon?
The Achilles tendon is the largest tendon in your body. If you feel the back of your leg all the way down to your heel bone, you feel a tough rope, and that rope is your Achilles tendon. You have one on each side, and you can have some irritation or inflammation or swelling of that tendon if you use it too much at one time, or if you're not wearing good shoes, or if you're running around barefoot. That can definitely injure the tendon. I had a patient a few months ago. She actually was walking into the grocery store, and one of those heavy glass doors hit her on the back of her leg, and it actually tore through her tendon. So she needed to have that surgically repaired. But most often we see some inflammation or swelling in that area, and we can treat that with some oral or pills to help with the swelling. And sometimes we use an injection, a steroid injection. That'll help with the swelling. And then sometimes if someone really abuses it and they tear that tendon, that may need to be repaired surgically. But we can usually get patients repaired and out the door, back on their feet within the first few weeks. So it's all about getting you fixed and back on your feet as soon as possible.
And I see, Jay, you got that surgical experience because you even trained at Cleveland Clinic, didn't you, too, for a while?
Absolutely. I trained at the Rubin Institute for Advanced Orthopedics in Baltimore, as well as the Cleveland Clinic in Cleveland. They're very well renowned for some microvascular, that's very small blood vessel and nerve repairs. And we do a lot of deformity correction. So you'll see it more with kids that have club feet deformities, and then with adults, you see bunions and hammer toes and tight tendons. We can repair all of that stuff. Most of the time we use a surgery center, so it's outpatient. You come home the same day, which is really nice. You're not stuck in a hospital with all the other sick patients. And I'm a very big believer in early mobilization. So when you have surgery, I would say 90% of the time you're walking the next day. You're not bedridden. You're not stuck at home. You're going out and about. You're living your life. And I think that allows you to heal better overall.
You know, South Florida is very privileged to have a guy like you. I never seen an education for podiatry with your education, your background, and your knowledge. So if you're out there, seniors, anybody, if you're out there having feet problems or anything up to the knee, I think you should go in and see Jay. And I think, Jay, when you say above the ankle up to the knee, what else is there above the ankle and up to the knee? What else could you treat? Say in the calf area.
Yeah, absolutely. So oftentimes you'll have venous ulcers. Those are ulcers when people have a lot of swelling in their lower legs. That can present itself on the lower leg. But we really do anything. If someone was tripped and fell and scraped their leg, we can definitely help with some local wound care. Again, above the ankle is the tendon, the Achilles tendon, like you mentioned. There's also several other large tendons that travel down the course of the leg that can be irritated or inflamed, and we can definitely help with that as well.
You know, so anyway, if you're talking about, I tell you again, Jay Seidel, right now, amazing podiatrist. I go to him, and I got to tell you, I thank him because, you know, when you have that ingrown toenail, it hurts. And I got to tell you, it hurts when you put your shoes on. And he solved that problem right away. And I got to schedule an appointment with you in, I think, another couple of weeks. I know I'm going to come and see you again in a couple of weeks. So if you can't cut your toenails, folks, like me, go down and see Jay. And you'll take care of that problem, won't you?
Absolutely. And again, we prefer you make an appointment so we don't keep you waiting. We're trying to maintain social distancing. We have cleaning service in the office to make sure the office is absolutely safe. We all wear masks, all our staff, to protect you and your family members. And if you need a caretaker or an aide that comes with you, they're welcome to come in the room as well because we're maintaining proper social distancing and cleaning protocols. But we really like when you make appointments. But again, if you have an emergency, absolutely give us a call and we will get you in for a same-day appointment.
Am I correct in saying that number is 954-426-4544?
That's correct. 954-426-4544.
So don't forget, if you need any kind of podiatry work, feet, ankle, up to the knee, that's your man, Jay Seidel. And I got to tell you, Jay, tell us a little bit more about how you came to South Florida. Why would you come to South Florida? You said you were born in Baltimore.
Yeah, you can't beat the weather down in South Florida. I mean, it's summer all year long. It's beautiful.
So you love it down here, and the clientele where you're by Century Village, right? That clientele must be coming over here like unbelievable, because
It's
you know
really nice.
they-
Actually, if you're in Century Village, the Century Village bus stops right in front of our office. So we have a lot of patients that maybe don't have a car or aren't able to drive. You can hop on the bus and it lets you off right outside our office. It's fantastic.
Jay, this radio broadcast hits over 3 million people in the course of a week. Now, there's people that come from New York and they come from all over. They can be listening to this through our website or through Pod, whatever they're listening to, and they might want to come and see you. I mean, if they call now, they can make a reservation for the future, can't they?
Absolutely. We have patients that schedule out 2 months in advance. They're in New York, they're snowbirds, and they're coming down. They always like to schedule an appointment so that they make sure that they can get an appointment in to see us.
So, Jay, you sell those diabetic shoes, as you said earlier. You got the diabetic shoes for people who have diabetes, have all these other ailments. Right now, do you have to have diabetes to get a pair of these shoes?
So in order for insurance to cover the shoes, yes, they do require diabetes as a diagnosis. However, we're happy to fit you for the shoes and we can work out a cash pay arrangement. The nice thing is that it's a money back guarantee. So if you come in and we don't get the shoes that fit you properly or that measure properly, then we stand behind it. If you have any problems with the manufacturing or the quality of the shoes, we stand behind it. You bring them back and it's no questions asked.
So if they're diagnosed with their primary physician as having a diabetic problem, diabetes, then they come and see you once they get that prescription from the primary, am I correct, to get a pair of shoes? Do they need a prescription from the primary?
No, they don't even need a prescription. After they come in and we do an evaluation, we actually fax over documentation to the primary. We take care of all the correspondence. They just got to come in and let us know they have diabetes.
Okay, they have diabetes. They tell you they have diabetes. You send that information over to the primary, and that's all you need to do. So they don't even have to get something from their primary. Well, that's fantastic.
We take care of it for you.
Well, that's fantastic. So they're really just going to come in and say, listen, I got a problem. I'm borderline diabetes. I'm a diabetic, right? My feet hurt. I'd like to try one of those pair of those shoes. You know, I mean, the question is, I find balancing. As you grow older, your balance seems to differentiate. You follow me? When you're walking, sometimes your balance isn't. Does that have to do with your feet or your knees? What does it have to do with?
It could be a whole bunch of different things. The nice part is that oftentimes if your foundation is stable, your feet, your ankles, most of the rest of above you would be stable as well. Think about it like your house. If your foundation is crooked, your whole house is crooked. We can definitely evaluate you in the office. We can do gait evaluations. And we also have some different types of braces that we can recommend and actually fit and dispense in the office. I've had patients that walked in with 2 canes and they walked out without needing them because we were able to fit them and measure them and apply a brace, and that really helped them regain their balance and feel comfortable walking around. And that, again, is also something that's usually covered by insurance, which is really nice.
So you're saying to me if a person has problem with his balance, they can come in and see you, and you can do a test to see if they're properly balancing with their feet or if they have a problem with their feet. Am I correct? You can measure.
Absolutely.
You can, so-called gait. Gait is your balancing. Am I correct?
Yes.
I think we're going to be off the air very shortly. I know something. I hear some music, Jay. So I don't know if we're telling we're breaking for a commercial or we're going to be off the air. But again, we're very happy to have Jay Seidel on our cast tonight. And as you can see, he has a hell of a background. Jay, give that phone number again.
954-426-4544.
And I tell you, the girl at that front desk, she's fantastic. She's very pleasant. She'll take your phone call. She'll set up your meeting with Dr. Jay Seidel. And he's available, 5 days a week, Jay?
Monday through Friday.
Monday through Friday. What are your hours?
9:30 to 4.
9:30 to 4. Folks, if you have an emergency, I know Jay will accommodate you in any emergency you have. So you have that phone number again. Let me repeat it again.
954-426-4544 for South Florida Podiatry.
South Florida Podiatry. And you're in there with another podiatrist, am I correct, Jay?
Yeah, Dr. Schwartz. He's my partner in crime.
And how many years has Schwartz been there?
Thank you for letting us share with you a longer and healthier lifestyle. If you have a doctor or are a doctor and wish to be on the show, call AMP2TV at 866-244-5422, and we will put you on the air as soon as possible. Tune in next week for more information on living longer and having a healthy